value of having an organization like OIC. It is important. We've got to advocate. We've got to fight for each other. And we can't forget each other. We've got to reach out our hand and say, I'm here for you. We're in tough times. There's no question. The brother told you where we are. We're in tough times. And in Connecticut, we're even tougher times. We do have the 1%, and then we have us. So it's important that we understand that. But it's not something that we walk away from. We just get up and keep trying. There's some things that we're trying up here this year. Yes, we did. The beauty is I am on appropriations. So the beauty is when my sister says over here we need more money for youth employment, we can do that. But you know what? That means that we have to make sure that our youth are getting those dollars, that our people in the community, we have high unemployment in our cities. In New Haven, I found out, and I found out from that meeting, 56% of our youth in New Haven are unemployed. And we wonder why we have violence in our communities. We wonder why. It's not the kids' fault. It's not the kids. It's the adults that are not reaching out to them and giving them their time. It's the adults that want to work who can't work. We talk about unemployment. We also have a working poor class. We have people that work 2 and 3 jobs that make only $300 and $400 a week, and that is to support a whole family. This is just unconscionable. We have, this year we did a bill, to raise the minimum wage. Did you listen to any of the debate? Do you know how hard it was not to get up and put your finger in the person's face? There are times where I always call it the Claire Huxtable. I say, let me tell you something. And it really, it's one of those things that eats at my soul sometimes. But I have to remember how much and who depends on me to make that statement and to make sure that people are heard. Patient care workers, organizing. We had a meeting in Appropriations, and I'll never forget this. And I just have to tell you this, because I got to go vote. We had people come up to testify for patient care workers to get to unionize, and people are afraid of unions because they say unions are the demise they were the demise of Europe, and they're going to be the demise of America, and all that stuff. People want somebody to help them have a voice. So we had people come up and talk. So people that came up to object to us doing this. One gentleman got up there and he said, my child is special needs, and he gets care from a great worker, somebody who, he comes in, he fits into our family real well. I like that part too. Oh, yeah. And he said, and I want him to be able to do his job. So I said, so let me get this straight. You have somebody that's paid by the state to work here. And the room was filled with workers who are PCAs and CNAs and everything all over the state. And they're only getting $9 an hour. So I said to him, so you have a worker in your home? He said, yes. I said, how much does your worker get? He says, $38. I said, $38? I said, do you understand who the people are behind you, who you are objecting to, how much they make? And he says, well, this is going to interfere with the contract. I said, no. So are you happy with the fact? He says, yes, I'm glad that they're here. And I'm glad that my worker gets $38. I said, so you're in support of this bill, and I thank you for testifying. I think my dad was a minister, and he always made me understand where I come from. As a little girl, my father was blind, and so he worked in New Haven, about 20 blocks away from our home. So he would walk to work every day. And when I was a little girl, he would make me walk with him. And I never understood why until I got older. My father knew every alcoholic, he knew every drug addict, he knew every beggar, he knew every worker. People, we walked by the house, he said, let's say, hello, Reverend Edmonds, hello, Reverend Edmonds. He wanted me to understand that everybody was important. Mm-hmm. And that was the most telling thing that I could ever say about my whole life upbringing, is that I understand why I am here today is because I have to make sure everybody knows that everybody in this room is important. So please understand, we're fighting, we're trying. We've got a great organization of Black and Latino caucus members who are really rallying together. We're rallying together 2 bills this year. One is the taser bill. I don't know if you understood, but when we started doing tasers, how many people have died since we did it? 20. How many of them are people of color? We have to reel that back. A young man was tasered to death because he refused to take a breathalyzer. He died. This is something we cannot let happen anymore. And the second bill, some of you may know, and this is mine, is the repeal of the remediation for higher education. There was a bill that was passed, Public Act 40, 2 years ago, that repealed remediation. Said remediation is, I come out of high school and I don't go test into a level that says I'm a credit bearing. So therefore what happens is we go, and they go to classes that bring you up to those levels. They're talking about stopping all of the remediation and just allowing kids to come in to credit-bearing courses, but only if they qualify. And I am totally in support of our kids being educated. But if the K-12 system is not educating them, it is not our children's fault. It is our fault. So when we bring our education levels up so that we can make sure that all our children qualify to go to college, amen to that. But until that time, you will not shut the doors to our children in accessing higher education. Because as we all know in this room, education leads to employment. And when you deny us education, you deny us employment. And if we don't fight back and say no. So I want to tell you that it is a fight, because how do I say this politically correct?
Tell the truth.
I'll turn the camera off. You can say what you want.